So Megyn Kelly, she's doing a podcast now. She's trying to get in on the podcast game where many people have had phenomenal success, whether it be, you know, she probably looks at Joe Rogan and goes, wow, I can't believe how did he create that? That's incredible. She probably looks at, you know, Crystal and Sagar and Breaking Points and sees like, oh, Crystal used to be on MSNBC and then she went to the Hill and now she's doing her own thing and she's doing well with her own thing and look at the audience. Wow, look at the audience she cultivated, et cetera, et cetera. So she's trying to get in on it. Now, here's the problem, though. Megyn Kelly, in her DNA, is that old school kind of corporate media presentation. You know, she's very proper and she's got good posture, and the way she talks is, it fits more in that format. She doesn't have the outsider, independent media, new media edge and delivery that one would need to have the authenticity to make it in this realm. Okay, but having said that, I'm sure her numbers are fine, you know, and she's got plenty of friends in the industry, so she's navigating it as best she can. Well, she went on this, she either had these guys on her podcast or went on some other podcast, what's called Ruthless or something like that, I don't know. And in the midst of what she thinks is like an anti-elitist rant, which is hilarious, Megyn Kelly calling anybody anti-elitist, it's hilarious. She makes what is quite possibly the most elitist point I've ever heard. Let's watch and then I'll respond.
That's what AOC was saying. I mean, not that anybody cares what she has to say in response to anything, but that was her push in response to these polling numbers and inflation and so on. She was like, you know, if we could just like stick to the agenda, get BBB passed, push this stuff through, and get rid of college debt for all, you know, college students. You know, she's back. She's a one-trick pony. Everything should be free. We should go back to our socialist roots. And then the Democrats won't be facing a bloodbath in November. And all these numbers will turn around. Free college for everyone. Didn't you guys have somebody pay for your college?
I mean, it's just such a stunning. I mean, I know you're super hot on this one, Smug.
Oh, I mean, especially because I remember going to state school, which was inside my budget. I remember being a bouncer at a college dive bar. I mean, everyone else in this country has always figured out a way to budget for their education. And then again, it's progressivism masquerading as this is compassion. No, it's not. It's a handout to the wealthiest liberal coastal. It's like the liberal coastal elites embodied. It's the people who have taken out massive loans.
It's like, you know, I think about it in my own life. My audience knows that my dad died suddenly when I was 15 of a heart attack. And my mom already had 2 kids in college at that point. My brother and sister are older than I am. They're in college. She's trying to, you know, he was only 45. We were not we weren't rich to begin with. So it's not like he had some big fat life insurance policy. He had like the bare minimum you have when you're in your 40s and you're a professor, which is what he was. Anyway, what did she do? She used the entirety of that payment to pay for the rest, what she could, of my brothers and sisters' college and my college education. And all 3 of us had to take out loans on top of it, of course. So, like, do I think now that, you know, I would have been better off if the federal government had stepped in? Look, it would have been nice, but I don't think the neighbors should have to pay for my college education. And my mom made a sacrifice. She could have been living off of that money. Suddenly she didn't have a, you know, 2-income home, but she used it to help her children. Like, that's what parents do. They scrimp and they save and they do what's necessary to pay for things like education. And we took out loans too. And then we paid those loans back. Why should these snot-nosed kids today?
Oh my God. You know, the part about this clip that got under my skin the most is the thing I already alluded to, which is she thinks she's making this anti-elitist point when you are making the most elitist point I've ever heard. Sending kids to college is the most populist thing you can do. It gives people who otherwise might not have a chance to make a decent life without massively going into debt. I'm amazed at how she can flip it in her mind as if she's a multi-millionaire. Let me look this up. Megyn Kelly net worth. Let me see this. $45 million. Now look, sometimes these things are wrong. Let's be overly kind. Let's say it's $30 million. $30 million. You are a multi-millionaire saying these snot-nosed kids don't deserve college. And you think it's anti-elitist. Megyn, look in the mirror. You are the elitist. You're as elitist as it gets. How do you not understand that? Let's go through some of their arguments because, God, it made me want to bang my head against a wall. She brings up AOC and says, well, she thinks we should eliminate student loan debt. Yeah, and she's right about that. She goes, see, she's a one-trick pony. That's all she wants to talk about is doing stuff. Okay, wait. First of all, you are a one-trick pony. You have simped for the Republican Party relentlessly on TV. Now, granted, it was more the establishment Republicans, not the Trump-type Republicans, but she simped for the Republican Party to no end. They're the biggest one-trick pony in the world. All they want to do is more tax cuts for the wealthy and more deregulation. That is their answer to everything. It's not a one-trick pony thing to say I want to eliminate student loan debt, because guess what? Part of Build Back Better was eliminating student loan debt, elder care, lower prescription drug prices, extended child tax credit. The list goes on and on of the different policies that were laid out there. That's not one-trick pony. That's the opposite of a one-trick pony. That's like, let's do 17 different things, all of which poll very popular. You're the one-trick pony. You are. That part got under my skin. Then she says, or the other guy says, one of the ruthless hosts, who they called Smug, awesome nickname, and fitting. Everyone else in this country always figured out a way to budget for their education. Yeah, maybe that's because back in like the 1950s, college cost 17 cents and a Pop-Tart, you dippy. Everybody used to be able to pay for it. Yeah, it was much less expensive back then. And beyond that, we also have had a system for a very long time of free schooling up through high school. Now, I will never understand for the life of me why these idiots don't take their logic and apply it across the board. Which would be, you think we should have some weird private system where people go massively in debt to go to college. Why don't you think that should be the case for high school? Why shouldn't everybody have to pay out of fucking pocket for kindergarten and first grade and second grade and third grade and then middle school and then high school? Why? Because look, I'm consistent. I think schooling in a civilized society, schooling is one of the first things you put on that list of things that are off the table and paid for via our tax dollars, along with police, along with the fire department, along with infrastructure, along with healthcare. So I'd say, yeah, let's pay for everybody's school across the board. Why not? Every level of it. Why not? So I'm consistent with my logic. They think you should go massively into debt for college, but high school will give a pass and that can be paid for via tax dollars. There's no consistency. There is no logic there. This is just reactionary garbage. That's all it is. It's the way it works now, so why shouldn't it keep working like this? Oh, I don't know. Maybe because there's $1.7 trillion in student loan debt and people get out in the real world and don't have a fucking pot to piss in? Maybe that's why. God damn it. Holy shit. Then, okay, this part is astonishing. She goes on to explain. I mean, credit for the honesty. She goes on to explain, look, yeah, I took out some loans for my college, but also, my dad died when he was 45, which is young. I can relate. My dad died when I was 56. When I was 56, he was 56. I was in my early 20s. She said, well, he had a life insurance policy, and my mom used that to help pay for my college and my siblings' college. Megyn, you're making my point, and you're too stupid to realize it. What about the people who don't have life insurance money? What about them? You're admitting you got help from your parents. Not everybody can get help from their parents. Now, even if you say, hey, we weren't economically well off, but then we got the life insurance money from my dad, and that helped a little bit, and I still took out loans, but I got the help. What about people who have no help? None. Which is, by the way, a lot of working class people. A lot of working class people. She brings up that she had help to make the point that others shouldn't have help. And then look, mic drop at this point. This is the biggest point here. She says, would it have been nice if the federal government paid for it? Quote, it would have been nice. Okay, well then we're in full agreement. What the fuck is the rest of your rant for? What's it for? No, these people are insufferable. They're unbearable. They are the ultimate elitists as they act like they're anti-elitist. This idea, this notion that, oh, it's only the rich who would benefit from student loan debt elimination. Nonsense. So many rich people have their parents pay for their whole fucking college experience. It would help a lot of working class people, of course. And to the extent it does help anybody who's from an upper middle class background or an upper class background, I don't care. That's a good thing. I hope those people who have money also get Social Security, because universal programs are objectively better because everybody's in it together. God damn it. And, she thinks it's a brilliant point to say, the neighbor shouldn't have to pay for my college education. Well, why did the neighbor have to pay for your high school education? And do you support that? Why did the neighbor have to pay for your middle school education? Do you support that? Most people go, yes to grade school, yes to middle school, yes to high school, no for college, no for college. Well, a college degree today is like a high school degree used to be decades ago. I give up. All right, that's the end of this here. Look, don't fall for the fake ad. This is the fakest populism I've ever seen. It's the most elitist shit masquerading as like looking out for the little guy, as they shit on the little guy. Megyn Kelly, you're a joke. I think I've said everything I need to say. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.